Presentation of the town board on annual transportation services provided to Webster seniors. So, who's going to present for WASPS? I kind of sneaky suspicion right here.
Please know that this is the first time I've ever spoken on a microphone. So if you can hear me.
Wait a minute, the first time in your life?
Yes, that I
That
ever.
can't be.
Well, it is.
It's
Okay.
time for everything.
Well, good afternoon and thanks for having us. My name is Deb Riley and I have been a volunteer with this organization for 6 years. The last 4 years I've been involved doing some administrative duties and also doing some dispatching. So the organization was started by a citizen here in Webster, Bud Johnson, who was simply taking his neighbors to doctor's appointments who had no family here. Sooner than later, other neighbors started asking him whether or not they could take them to their doctor's appointments. And so he saw a need back in 2007 and 2008 that they needed transportation, these seniors in our development. So he went to the Webster Rex Board and he said, what can we do? So with 2 years of planning, officially in 2010, it became a nonprofit organization called WASPS, which is the Webster Association of Senior Program Supporters. I call it the Webster Senior Transportation Group. It's a little easier. But we provide services to the senior and disabled residents of the Webster Central School District. We take them to their medical appointments, whether it's chemotherapy, PT, dentist, hearing, a pharmacy stop, you name it. In 2019, we also added banking. And in early 2020, we added trips to local barbers and hairdressers because our clients deemed that that was the next thing that they needed help with. We also do tax transportation to local tax preparation in Webster in the spring. So those are the new services. We've expanded our scope from medical and included those new services. So you're probably wondering, what do you do if you have a senior who needs a ride? The senior calls the WASP line and leaves their telephone number and name and their appointment information, such as the date and time and where they're going to go. Our dispatchers check the messages daily. A dispatcher will then take that information and start canvassing our volunteer drivers. And oh, by the way, if we didn't have volunteer drivers, this would not exist. So kudos to our volunteers. Once we have a driver for that person to go to their appointment, we call the client back, let them know the name of the driver. Then 2 to 3 days before the appointment, that driver will also call the client, confirm the appointment information, and they'll arrange a pickup time. We do ask that you call 3 days ahead of your appointment time because we need time to find a volunteer. But I can tell you right now, we have appointments on our system out through December. That's how reliable we are. Some interesting statistics is that 27% of our appointments are just local. 73% are out in Monroe County. So we do ask a donation of $5 if we take you for an appointment within Webster, and $10 if we take you anywhere within Monroe County. It's interesting to note that in the past 12 months, the youngest person we've taken is 53, and the oldest person we've taken is 96. And I also can tell you that 1/3 of all of the clients that we take are over the age of 85. So we also have a relationship with Medical Motors in Rochester, so if somebody needs a wheelchair van, we can assist with that as well in scheduling. If a common person such as ourselves calls in for wheelchair transportation, it's normally in the high 90s for a round trip. But through us, we have a deal with them where they charge us only $58, and we ask the citizen to maybe donate $30 of that, and then we pick up the additional $28 as an organization. So we're under Lifespan of Greater Rochester, which is a nonprofit that is an elder source for the County of Monroe. So they provide training for our volunteers. They also do background checks, DMV checks, and they provide supplemental liability insurance to the drivers who want to take their own car. We do have a car that you can use as a volunteer. It's being leased by Hyundai here in Webster, Vision Hyundai. For one reason or another, there are several volunteers who can't take their own car. Whether they share a car with a spouse, they have a large truck that an elderly person can't get into. We have 3 people that will take that car consistently when they're asked to volunteer for an appointment, and we have 4 to 5 others that will use it on occasion. But otherwise, the remaining 25 volunteers use their own vehicle to transport our citizens. Our citizens are living longer, and the population of older adults is increasing. Longer life also provides new challenges for that senior and their caregivers. So a lot of the clients that we take tell us how much easier it is for them to pick up the phone and schedule an appointment with us rather than take their child, their adult child, and ask them to take off work to take them to an appointment. If we can help these citizens remain in their home longer and give them a sense of security, that they can meet their medical needs, then our job is done. So thank you very much, and I'd like to introduce our president, Mike Donovan.
Thank you again for allowing us to come before the board and talk about the great service that we do offer within the community. The preliminary 2020 census data shows that the town of Webster is over 45,000 folks. Over 65, 9,300 or a little over 9,300, and under 65 and disabled, 2,400. So right now we have a client base we're showing of about 11,700 folks that could utilize our service here in the community. It's something that, as Deb mentioned, keeps seniors in their homes, keeps their kids happy that we're able to provide the service, and in a low-cost venue. We passed around a chart, that bar chart, and really the elements that are the most important are, these are 8-month numbers 2000 through 2018 through 2021. These are called one-way trips. That's how we report it to Lifespan, is a one-way trip, because not everybody takes trips front and back. Sometimes we just take them to a dialysis and somebody else picks them up. Back in 2018, for 8 months, we had 768 trips. Then in 19, we jumped up to 1,353. Then in 2020, we dropped back to 850. We were down for approximately 60 days because of COVID. This year, we're at 1,356. So we're back on the road to having a huge year again, which again is beneficial to the citizens of Webster. Deb mentioned quickly that volunteers make up the organization. We currently have 33 volunteer drivers that provide the service to the clients Monday through Friday. So again, it's a great service that we offer. The client and the driver stay with each other. The driver does not leave the appointment, stays with the client at the appointment, which normally is an hour and a half, so they do not have to wait for somebody else to pick them up. If they were using, let's say, Medical Motors or Lyft or Uber or any other car or any other service. So again, it's really important that we continue on with the WASPS organization, and I'd like to turn it over to Dave Norton to talk about the budget.
Thanks for having us again. Third time, thanks for having us. I want to know, we only have a few minutes, so I'm going to sit right to the point. We have a budget of $22,000 annually. I'll just briefly go down some of the categories. $2,500 we need for supplies, website maintenance, and then our professional expenses for the CPA to file the Form 990 for a 501c3 organization. We have about a $7,700 car expense. That's the lease, the insurance, maintenance, cleaning, and then that also includes medical motors. Medical motors bills, as Deb mentioned, for any wheelchair transportation. And we have a what they call a Tier 2 contract with medical motors to do that. Contractor expenses we have 3 part-time paid dispatchers, and those folks are paid via like a consultant. It's a 1099. They're not under a W-2 situation. It's a 1099 form for taxes. And then we also have $1,000 that we budget. It's not enough, but we try to put on a volunteer appreciation lunch or dinner annually. We weren't able to do it last year, but we were planning one for October 6th this year. Because these folks are the lifeblood, that's the foundation for our organization. We do have a budget revenues, and this year we had a budget shortfall of $4,000. What makes up our revenues are we budgeted $2,300 in donations, service clubs, the Masons. We do get help from Vision Hyundai, and they pay us back half of our lease, which is very generous of them. And we do note that on the side of the car, the lettering on the car says powered by Vision Auto, which is, they're very nice. And so we also go out to other organizations, service organizations, but 2020, 2021, because of the pandemic, they're having the same issues we are, raising money, having social events, etc. We're very, very grateful for the town of Webster. As you, over the past few years, have donated $7,000 to us, which is very helpful. I mean, almost not half our budget, but it's up there, and you're the largest donation that we receive. We also received $1,500 from the Village of Webster, and they've been doing that consistently for the last several years as well. Another big line item is our rider client donations. And we budgeted $7,400 based on our experience for this year. So we have a shortfall, and we were very, very fortunate this year to receive a $4,000 one-time grant from the Carpus Family Foundation. I think you folks are familiar with them because they helped with the Miracle Field. So we're able to get through this year, but we're going to try to get back on track as far as fundraising. One of our largest fundraising event that we do is the model train show that we hold at the Webster Parks and Recreation Department. But in 2020 and in 2021, we were not able to do that. We're hoping that we can do that in 2022. But with that in mind, we're looking to go out and raise some more money. Our growth, we think, and I think it's with prices going up, that our budget for 2022 will be in the vicinity of about $25,000. We've got our dispatchers. We have to stick to at least the minimum wage, and that's going up. Cost of supplies, car expense, and medical motors expense is going up as well. And as I said, the annual train show we're hoping we can do it in 2022, but we're not sure yet. It's still uncertain. And I think in closing, right on the money, again, we're very grateful for the $7,000 that you folks have given us over the years. But we're wondering, and we would like you to consider increasing that for 2022 up to $9,000, a $2,000 increase. And then the operative word is consideration. And if there's any, does anybody have any questions, quick questions for any of us?
I do.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
You were one of the first meetings I had when I was supervisor in January of 2020, and then COVID hit and no more meetings. And the one thing that I walked away from that meeting was that you said it again tonight, your coverage area is the Webster Central School District,
Correct.
which includes the town of Penfield. Have you gone to the town of Penfield and asked my friend Tony the Fountain for any money?
We were hoping you would do that. No.
It's an answer.
Tom,
No, we have not.
we have only, in the last 12 months, we've only taken 6 people who
That live in that district?
live in that district.
Right.
And that, enough said, okay.
But
Uh,
but that's a great point, and, but we have not.
Okay, well, based on those statistics, I don't know if you should.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I'm not gonna have to. Other than that, you know, obviously, well, you might not know this, the preliminary budget for 22 is in the books. And there's a process now over the next several weeks that I think Paul ends up on November 4th, the final budget.
November 4th.
Well, I'll talk with you offline or whatever, but I don't even know if there is any, I don't know the process of moving from preliminary budget to final budget with changes. We didn't have changes last
Board
year.
has to approve the changes after the public hearing.
So I just don't want to set false expectations.
Correct. Well, we appreciate that. And we, again, we appreciate everything you folks have done for us over the years. It's been great. It's been a great relationship.
But we'll be in contact. I do want to, I think we got a budget meeting, what, Monday?
We do.
All right, you and I, I'm sure you'll educate me on all that. Thank you.
Thank you for entertaining us, our time, and your time.